When we think of brand identity, it's essentially the cornerstone of brand strategy. For brands like Nike, we've seen the shift in emotional connection with their consumers. This practice of appealing directly to a consumer's ego, emotional state, needs, and aspirations creates a bond between the consumer and the product by providing the consumer's emotions. In order for the consumer to create a relationship between themselves and the brand needs to portray a particular identity, with specific values and symbols attached to it. Storytelling is the key. People relate to life stories, much more so than content or product. Inspiration is identifying the deep consumer insight or societal tension that needs to be addressed. Brands like Nike are saying there's light in all of us. Don't limit yourself, even if it means something you're passionate about. Be a better you, but most importantly, be an unlimited you.
When it comes to brand identity, Nike has no shortage of campaigns that contribute to their identity and image. These campaigns have turned them from simply an athletic clothing company to a face for social injustice and equality both within and outside the world of sports. In recent history, it has almost been unheard of to see a Nike commercial without the representation of a group that suffers from inequality. Some of these campaigns include the Dream Crazy campaign, inspired by Colin Kaepernick and his stance against police brutality in the United States. Another includes the 1995 campaign called If You Let Me Play Sports, featuring multiple young girls listing off the benefits for women, such as more confidence, less chance of breast cancer, and lower chances of depression should they be treated as equals and allowed to participate in sport. More recently was the 2017 campaign titled Equality, featuring athletes such as LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Serena Williams. This ad shows soccer pitches, basketball, and tennis courts, and explains how in these environments, you're only judged based on your actions and not on your looks. It then goes on to depict athletes expanding the lines of the courts around the city, saying, "If we can be equals here, we can be equals everywhere." The ad finishes off with their campaign slogan, "Equality has no boundaries," and the campaign came with a promise to donate $5 million to the U.S. organizations that work to advance equality. Nike has always been able to put themselves out into the media to stand up for issues they believe in, and in return they have gained a loyal fan following that support their causes and perceive them as a brand that they can get behind because of their stance on social issues. They act as a voice and inspiration for their consumer, and this is an identity that they have developed over years of campaigns and public relations work. They have communicated themselves as an advocate for struggling communities and have embraced that image. As they continue to produce more content like those mentioned previously, there is less and less disparity between image and identity, and it is almost expected of them to take a stance on these issues.
With the development of sports media and marketing over recent years, brands have faced the challenge of developing an identity. Simply selling a sport-related product, good, or service is no longer enough to be a successful brand. While the products, goods, and services remain a focal point, the brand's identity can be just as, if not more important from a marketing perspective. With sport being a significant reflection of society, consumers today not only expect, but demand their favorite sport brands represent and stand for something more significant, forcing the brands to develop an identity. As mentioned earlier, brands like Nike have done this effectively, and for that reason become global powerhouses. The brand, Uninterrupted, has taken the concept of brand identity and transformed it into a viable sport business model and brand. The brand defines themselves as, and I quote, "more than a platform. It's empowerment. It's storytelling. It's about inspiring other people. It's athletes sharing their story from their point of view. Raw and direct, motivating and thought-provoking." Uninterrupted has created content such as videos, documentaries, and apparel lines, using some of the world's most famous athletes and celebrities in doing so. Their main message being to bring these athletes to life and allow them to use their platform to inspire fans through telling their stories about sports and life in general. The video clips you see here are excerpts from the brand's docuseries called The Shop, in which a group of athletes, musicians, and other celebrities get together to discuss a variety of topics while in local barbershops. The series reminds us that although incredibly successful, talented, and famous, all of these people are just human beings. The show encourages participants to talk about their life on and off the field, tell stories, and open up to viewers in a way that was not possible before. It also promotes their key values and identity of inclusion, gender equality, and equality. On the screen, you see athletes like Rob Gronkowski, Odell Beckham Jr., LeBron James, and Candace Parker, as well as celebrities like Snoop Dogg and Kevin Hart. People of all different backgrounds, professions, coming together as one. The series allows consumers to understand and connect with their favorite athletes on a personal level, allowing them to create associations with who they are not just as an athlete, but also as a person. Consumers get to witness the power these athletes hold when given the platform to express themselves, and share the brand's empowering and overarching message that these people are more than an athlete, which is the fundamental source of Uninterrupted's brand identity.
Between both Uninterrupted and Nike, these are two primary examples of brands creating a new brand identity for themselves. When people discuss Nike now, the topic might be about their shoes or other apparel, but it could also be about the newest initiative or commercial that they have launched to help support these social justice issues, such as what they did with Colin Kaepernick. In this video clip, Kaepernick says, "Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything." This is what Nike did. They built their brand identity around fighting for social justice issues alongside their athletes, not caring about any potential backlash that they could receive from those opposed to their message. Nike did not allow their consumers to dictate their brand identity. They created their own identity. Brand identity is a key component to any organization's marketing, because if a consumer looks at your company and they immediately think of you in a bad way because you have a poor brand identity, then you have zero chance of ever receiving business from that person. Brand identity is the brand's tangible and intangible characteristics. It is everything that makes the brand what it is. Without a true brand identity, a business will fail.